And the other thing is that Yoru's coming off of eliminating Riley and Pedro in his last 2 sets, right? Tourist is coming off of his first loss of a set in this competition. So you also wonder momentum-wise if Tourist can bounce right back.
Evo Witch from Tourist and an Evo Snowball. We have an Evo Bomber and Evo Snowball from Yoru. Once again, starting off the match with this very interesting Goblin Drill, Goblin Hut deck. Tourist, on the other hand, looking like maybe even Giant Graveyard with the Skeleton Army. Very matchup dependent and aggressively style deck here.
Yeah, and we saw this deck kind of match up against GY earlier, although that was like an interesting game that happened. But what I was talking about when we saw that initially was just there does seem to be a lot of graveyard responses. But on the other side of that, will there be the DPS that Yoru needs to take care of these giants? And that Berserker plus Bomber could just be enough.
Bowler hits the Scientist twice here, so I'm assuming once we see the ability, immediate arrows drop down to make that 2 elixir ability value a lot less useful. And Skeleton Army left-hand side, this is a smart play. This is going to
really smart play.
Yeah, it applies pressure, but it also heals the Witch and keeps it full health. And you can see Yoru just, I mean, what else can he do except just pain over how much damage he's taken.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, at this point, what a great play there from Tourist. Love the construction of the deck. Gets that Skarmy out opposite lane, as you said, perfect time. Heals the Witch, creates pressure, pulls Elixir away, gets damage in the opposite lane. You never want to go to a 2-tower game, really, when you're running GY. Giant GY, just a little bit successful, but nice for him to get so much damage on the right-hand side and just a little bit on the left.
Wow, and then he immediately... Yeah, he just immediately goes straight back in with the Giant Graveyard. Berserker, she does decent, but it's just not enough. And Yoru with one last chance to really make something happen, going for the Gobstein, drill in the other lane, dual lane pressure. But, I mean, knowing Tourist, he's not going to have any problems defending this.
Yeah, arrows come out from both players. Decent damage in there for Yoru. Does get the tower below 1,000 HP, and that's, you know, that's some of the greatness of that Berserker there. Wow, high minions on top of 2 ground-only units.
Evo Snowball out
snowballs
from
in both directions.
The Goblins do get damaged, though, but there's no big spell. Maybe if he has Evo Bomber in cycle?
I was going to say,
there it is.
I was going to say the Bomber.
One hit, the Skeleton Army distracts. I don't think Arrow Snowball is enough, so he has to go in for another drill. And Tourist knows it, though. He's going straight in for the Giant Graveyard. So even if he loses his tower, he can get another tower back.
Yeah, I mean, I would have still loved to maybe just see a little elixir spent by Tourist down there. But still, 1,000 HP to 2133. We do actually get to that 2-tower situation that I was just talking about. And as I said, this is better to have Giant GY than Splash Yard, in my opinion, in this moment.
For sure. Yeah, Giant Graveyard definitely excels in this sort of situation. But to be honest, Yoru went from having no chance to definitely a solid chance to win this. It's going to be tough, but it's not impossible.
Ooh. Nice Skarmy there, ready to go. Almost looking like it was probably hovered, waiting for that Goblin Stein in the pocket.
Yeah, and the Gobstein ability goes off, which means the 2 elixir was spent, but no value from it. So Yoru just down a straight over 2 elixir here, and he's trying to set up defense for this Giant Graveyard, but Tourist knows that, so he's just going in for the Giant, the minions, the arrows. He's just trying to attempt to get 1 or 2 Giant hits, and he gets it.
Gets the Giant hits, 2 bowlers on the board. Evo Witch behind, very, very healthy. And as of right now, I think we're just delaying the inevitable. 261 remains, Witch on the board. And it, you know, still pulling Elixir out of Yoru here. Another Giant in the pocket, you can imagine. And there it is. Evo Snowball to close things up. And we're going to game number 2.
Yeah, Skelly connects. Game number 2 is going to be interesting. I honestly like
a little bit today too, but I feel like we spent just a hair more on it yesterday with the Witch. How are you feeling about her in general? I know that we said that she feels pretty balanced. Now we're seeing her used a ton throughout the weekend, but do you feel like your opinion on her has changed at all, or do you think she's still in a good spot?
I will say that I will stick with what I said, that she's fairly balanced. Like, there are cards that can counter her, but because of that, She's just kind of rock paper scissorsy, if that makes sense. It's very similar actually to Heal Spell back in the day, where we had a rock paper scissors situation between Three Musky Heal Spell, Graveyard Poison, and then also another deck that counted the 3M. I forget, it was literally like 6 years ago, but it's very similar in that situation where healing cards in general kind of make a bit of a rock paper scissors between spells and certain decks.
So Tourist here coming out with, I'm trying to go back. Yeah, this is the deck that Yoru started his competition with yesterday. So very interesting to see Tourist bring that out against him, especially because that deck was not successful against the deck that Yoru's running right now. I mean, the only difference was that Riley had lightning instead of poison, but already Tourist playing it better than Yoru did.
Yeah, I mean, the Evo Barbs of the Bridge, I was like, there's no way this is gonna work. He has Ice Wiz and he has Golden Knight, but then I saw the Heal Spirit. And what happens is the Golden Knight, as is dashing through the Barbarians, the Heal Spirit will jump before the Golden Knight's able to make it to it, and ends up healing all the Evo Barbs, and immediately Evo Battle Ram. Tourist knew that interaction was going to happen. He was not scared of his Evo Barbs dying, and he continued to apply pressure, even with the Golden Knight after that, getting so much damage.
And Evo Battle Ram coming in here. Evo Battle Ram, also one of the more unique Evos in the game, can be so dominant, but also pretty easily controlled.
Gob Gang Ice was dropping on defense. Mother Witch does need to be blocked before it locks into the gang. So Evo Mortar is going to drop. The Golden Knight's going to drop. And this is one chance that Yoru has to get even more value to try to make this comeback. And he looks like he might be making it happen. Can his Evo Mortar lock?
Evo Mortar doesn't lock. Mother Witch puts in just enough work. Second Mortar comes down. Royal Ghost is there to distract. Now the Piggy will distract. Now the Golden Knight comes down to distract. Two Mortars still on the board. Nothing out of the Evo. And great job here from Tourist creating damage in the opposite lane. Remember, guys, Tourist is known as one of the best bridge spam players in the game. We haven't seen him run bridge spam this entire weekend. And right now we're seeing a bit of domination. Dangerous, though.
Oh, wow. The Mortar gets a connection. So does the Miner and the Gang. All of a sudden, this game's a lot more tied up than it was just a second ago.
Poison right at the bridge on top of that Barb, plus Evo Ram behind. Royal Ghost cycled opposite lane. A lot of poison value there given to Yoru from Tourist, but now more needs to be spent.
Okay, Spirit Ops counter pushing. Golden Knight on defense, and we see another pressure in another lane. I really like what Tourist is doing to switch lanes, apply lots of pressure, and try to hold on this damage advantage, because his only big spell, not even big spell, his only spell is the Rage.
And Golden Knight needs to get focused on. There it is. Nice high Goblin Gang. Late Heal Spirit, though. A little too late there from Tourist. Doesn't get those Barbs healed back up. Going for that killing blow. Now it goes again. Royal Ghost Battle Ram behind. Barbs opposite lane at the bridge. Nice high Mortar here to pull everything plus the Barb Barrel. Defense locked down for Yoru.
Heal Spirit over the river. Miner inbound. The Golden Knight ends up dashing to the tower, though. Wow. With the Rage, Golden Knight gets another hit. But it's still not over unless the Battle Ram connects. Gob Gang drops the Heal Spirit heals, and it connects. Oh my gosh, even Yoru.
Card that didn't even exist a few years ago and has completely changed the rhythm of the game. So great call there, Juice. As we get into game number 3 here, Tourist goes the distance against former world champion Ruben, loses in game number 5, gets sent to the lower bracket. Now a rookie face-off that is very one-sided. Tourist up 2-0, could take the set here with one more win.
Tourist started with skeletons here in this matchup. That could really mean anything, but it definitely means it's a cycle deck. We could see Royal Giant, Hog Rider, Minor, or even Goblin Drill for Tourist here. And that's another thing I want to talk about is it does seem like Tourist is actually winning the game of the deck picks right now. Maybe not in this last match, but still, the Mother Witch is a great pick here. And I really like his gameplay. But the other thing to mention is that he's really doing a great job of saving those really important cards like Skeletons, Log, even the big spells like Fireball and Lightning that are going to be super helpful for him in this game number 3 and maybe 4.
Yeah, that's a really, really great point that you make when you look at the spell power and the cards that are used on both sides of the boards. You know, Tourist is doing a really great job of just using cards and spells that that we haven't seen a lot of in our best of 3s, and I think that's a great way to start looking at where you start to build your decks for games 4 and games 5. So here we go. Looking like RG, bottom of your screen, top of your screen, we're seeing this combination, which we've seen many times before this weekend with the Boss Bandit plus the MK, and now a Hog Rider comes out, shouldn't get any hits.
Yeah, great recognition from Tourist, realizing the second Hunter hit was too far away to deal maximum damage, using the E-Spirit and Barb Barrel to really mitigate here. Skeleton's going to drop for the Goblins now, and I think the biggest thing that Tourist is going to have to watch out for in this matchup is that Evo Mega Knight. As long as he can get a Fishman pull on that Evo Mega Knight when on offense and use the Evo Hunter to snare it, preventing the value, he's going to be in a really good spot.
Oh, and that's a really almost beautiful zap there from Yoru, trying to make sure that that Fish Boy doesn't take the Firecracker off the board, but ends up wasting a spell where he needs it.
Evo Hunter just getting so much value here. First snaring the Evo Mega Knight, preventing anything from happening, and now snaring the Inferno Dragon. It's one of the coolest synergies.
Unsettling.
Yeah, I was just thinking, it's just such an interesting interaction, and it's also one of the coolest synergies to see the Evo Hunter be able to snare air units to the ground and allow Fishermen to pull.
Yeah, that's I was gonna say basically the same thing. I mean, the Fisherman Hunter combo is something we've talked about since 2018.
Yeah.
But the other thing I was gonna mention is it's just so unsettling to see the Inferno Dragon on the ground. You almost feel like sad for it.
Yeah, it is. It's kind of depressing to see, but you know, that's the power of the Evos in Clash Royale currently, and that's why we see Tourist cycling so quickly. Now with an Evo Hunter on one side, with an Evo RG in the other, realizing the Evo Mega Knight's going to drop on the left lane. Yoru with no Inferno Drag or Mega Knight defense with a pre-Fisherman for the Boss Bandit as well. A zap to try to delay the pull, but the RG is just slaying this right-hand lane.
Dude, that was exactly what I love about RG players. And a nice push here, though. You see a little bit more being spent on the left-hand side because of a slight miss on the Inferno. Now the Hog Rider gets in on the right. And you can see Yoru shaking his head, maybe going, man, like, without those mistakes, I'd really be in this game. But now 483 to 1028. Imagine that's probably lightning in the last spot, as we haven't seen a big spell come out yet.
Okay, good block at the bridge. Monk will not tank, but it will deflect. Yoru calls the good game because he does not have a way to distract this Royal Giant. RG with the hit, Lightning inbound, and Tourist officially taking down the new face in the CRL Warmup with a 3-0 sweep in the lower bracket finals.